Let's see. We do have a couple of questions for Maria. Let's see. When will the data from the Blue Go science payloads be available on PDF?
Yes, everyone is required to archive their data within 6 months. So that will be about mid-September. So about mid-September. Note though that some of the instruments were more technology oriented, so that's not as good a fit with PDS. So some of them are archiving in other locations. But if you want to reach out to me, I will be happy to share with you where that data will be made publicly available. But most of them are science related and going into the PDS.
Awesome. And they will be available for folks who are looking to propose to LDAP and other programs. Let's see. Oh no, my camera is doing something weird. Can you all still see me? No, my camera is frozen. Sorry. Can you still hear me at least?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. There is a question in the chat, and I will forgive them for not putting in the AU2. They put it in the chat about the temps measured by Lister and if they were similar to what was expected.
They were. I don't want to give away. It's not my result to tell, and I don't think they've published it yet. I will say that they were about where they modeled the temperatures to be, so there wasn't a big surprise there. And I don't think a huge variation in the temperatures like throughout the Lister continued to operate into the lunar night. It was actually our last payload to be operating, the last payload standing, and before the last one to power off. And so they were collecting temperatures up until then. So I know that they are trying to make as a goal to present these results at the European Lunar Symposium. So just coming up in June. So if you do have the opportunity to listen into that, and if not, I think if you're not able to participate in ELS, then hopefully they will be publishing those results soon.
That's a good teaser.
A little teaser.
I'm not sure that you can answer this, but I will ask it. The lander set down right next to the edge of a shallow crater. Is Firefly reevaluating their hazard avoidance algorithms as a result?
I mean, that is on the Firefly side. So you're right, Sarah. I can't really speak to that. That is their part of the mission. So yes, that is a question for Firefly.
Fair.
But I will say that the hazard avoidance at least got us. There were a lot of secondary craters there, and it did set us down so that we were upright and stable. So it did its job in that regard anyway.
Those are important things.
It's right. You may have been on the edge of a crater, but it was upright and stable. So there you go. And able to do everything it needed to do.
There is a question for Lauren. For Sparks, what is the balance between value of returned sample science and in situ science and geologic context?
That's a great question, and it's something that we have really heavily debated within the team. I will say ultimately, sample return is part of the title, and we really are leveraging that. It's something that we've thought about a lot, particularly with some of the Artemis missions going to the South Polar region, but really the benefit of a long duration, long distance rover or whatever mobility asset might turn out to be in this final architecture, that you really can best leverage all of the science that you want to do, and you don't really have to pick and choose like we saw in previous iterations of static landers to the South Polacan Basin. So I will say sample return is really, it's really at the heart of what we're looking to do with the science objectives. However, as we all know, you don't just want to pick up a bunch of regolith and then chuck it back at the earth. That you really want to know exactly where it's from. You really want to understand that geologic context. And we do plan to make sure that that is well represented in the prioritization of the science goals.
Yes, context is so critical. Let's see. There are a couple of questions in here, although again, some of them I'm not sure that you will be able to answer, Ryan. But let's see. How will site relevant science be accommodated on LTV if it must continuously reach the PR sites for crewed missions?
Can you repeat that question again? This is for LPV, right?
For Ryan.
Oh, it's for Ryan. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it's a mission planning constraint. So that's something that would go into mission planning, and I think there would be a lot of opportunity there.
Could there be an opportunity for the science community to provide input to the LTV down select process?
I don't know. I don't know enough about that process, so I would kick that to Sarah or Deborah.
Yeah, I don't think that we are, that our community, our input has already been provided and is not part of the down select process. See, no, I don't think you can answer that question either. When does NASA anticipate a decision on the LTV?
So I think there was another answer higher up in the Q&A there. So the update on the LTVS building efforts. So I can just read that. So LTVS is actively going through PDR, and NASA is aiming to down select demonstration mission no earlier than the end of the calendar year, pending everything.
There you go. All right, last call for questions. I don't see any others that we haven't addressed. Then I will thank our speakers from this last session. Appreciate you all. So exciting to see these things that are happening across the agency.